Okay, once upon a time, there were three cute little consumer credit bureaus named TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. For the most part, they were introverts. They loved their role behind the scenes where most consumers barely knew they existed. They were the invisible gatekeepers of credit, and they relished their role of silently judging you for your spending habits and debt repayments. They even graded you and gave you a score. But they didn't do this for free. No, contrary to commonly held beliefs, these credit bureaus were still, and still very much are, for-profit companies. They charged people to see their credit score. They charged people to freeze their credit. But worst of all, they sold all of this credit information to any company or individual who had a permissible purpose to ask for it. Yes, Jaden?
Dad, what is permissible purpose?
Well, didn't you read the Fair Credit Reporting Act, Section 604 that I gave you yesterday?
Yeah, but it wasn't very clear.
Exactly. Okay, now, where was I? Yes. Reporting agencies are for-profit companies. Remember that, okay? Well, one day in July of 2017, a small problem was discovered at Equifax. It was nothing too big or important, just one of those pesky cyber attacks. Equifax had been dragging its feet updating its systems, and hackers had been able to access consumer records for 76 days? Are you serious? Maybe this was big and important. In fact, the data for an estimated 147 million US citizens, 15.2 million UK citizens, and 19,000 Canadian citizens had been compromised. Are you serious? Well, 2 months later, Equifax admitted they had been breached, and their stock price dropped. Lawsuits were filed. All of a sudden, these invisible gatekeepers, these silent credit score judges, had a big spotlight on them. And when consumers got a view of who they really were, what they saw wasn't pretty. And Equifax had to pay a huge settlement for that class action lawsuit. Well, US Congress was pressured to act, and in 2018 they passed a law that said that these credit bureaus couldn't charge consumers to freeze their credit anymore. And that was a big deal. These consumer credit bureaus used to charge consumers $5 to $10 a month for a credit freeze, so now they were losing a valuable income source. But that's not all. These credit freezes also limit a credit bureau's ability to sell consumers' data to new lenders. They loved making money selling consumer data, which includes name, addresses, phone numbers, credit history, age, estimated income. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of data. Well, when you put a credit freeze on your account, and everybody has an account whether they like it or not, that includes you and you and you, not only does it severely reduce the risk of your identity being stolen, it also stops these credit bureaus from making money by selling your data. They're not allowed to. Oh no, poor credit bureaus, how would they survive? Well, they thought and they thought, and they came up with a plan. How about we offer free fraud alerts, they said. Or perhaps we can work with banks to offer free credit locks. This was a very good plan indeed. By using terminology that consumers could understand with great ease, they could easily convince them to choose an alert or a lock instead of a freeze. And unlike a freeze, an alert or a lock would still allow Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax to make money off your data. Brilliant! Executives across the three credit bureaus high-fived each other with joy. So the moral of the story, in case you couldn't tell, is that credit bureaus make money on the data they sell. No service or protection can offer 100% guarantees, but the best option is not an alert or a lock, but a free credit freeze. I hope you enjoyed that entertaining story time with my boys. If you want to learn more about what a credit freeze is, how you can easily set it up and even remove or thaw that credit freeze, head over to the website allthingssecured.com/credit-freeze. I think it's important to state this again. A credit freeze is not a foolproof solution for identity theft. And Krebs on Security has already proven that. But I do think there's no good reason not to do it unless you're already monitoring your ID with something like Identity Guard, which is something that I use, or LifeLock, or many other services. services. It's not going to affect the way that you use your credit cards or any services that already use your credit. It's just going to stop new credit pulls, new credit in your name. And that's a good thing. I mean, if you wanted to go out and buy a new car, all you have to do is call them up or go online to remove that credit freeze. And by law, they have to do that within the hour. It's really fast. A side benefit here is that you won't impulsively sign up for a new credit card when you're checking out at your favorite retailer, which you probably shouldn't be doing anyway. Anyway, learn more about a credit freeze here. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more great personal online security and privacy tips here on All Things Secured.